Hi, everyone. My name is Alicia Martin, and this is my community in words and pictures. I live in Pennsylvania on the east coast of the United States. I live in South Central Pennsylvania in Dauphin County. And South Central Pennsylvania is known to be somewhat of a tourist attraction. One place people like to visit is Hershey, Pennsylvania, that has a lot of tourist attractions, or Gettysburg, that has a lot of Civil War reenactments, or Lancaster, that people like to visit to see Amish country. Or they like to visit the state capital, which is in Harrisburg City. And I live 2.5 miles from the state capital in a town called Susquehanna Township. And Susquehanna Township is only about 15 miles long, where a little over 25,000 people live. And as you can see from this map, that central to Susquehanna Township, there are multiple highways that intersect for people to get from one part of the state to the other. Consequently, Susquehanna Township often gets overlooked as just a place where truckers and everybody else come for lodging and gas and the basics for them to travel some more. And because of this, a lot of times people who live in Susquehanna Township um, don't really get the full grasp of what community is because there's so much throughfare. As I stated before, the population is a little over 25,000, which is a 4.5 increase since 2010. And the median age is 39.6 years. And you can see from this chart that the range between under 5 years and over 65 years, I'm sorry, is significant. So it also shows that the average age is middle age in Susquehanna Township. And females make up 53.2%. Additionally, as far as race, whites make up 61%, Blacks and African American 26.6%, Asian 5.3, more two or more races 3.7, and Hispanic is 6.5%. As far as education, it shows that high school or higher 89.3, bachelor's degree or higher 35.5, graduate or professional degree 14.4, and the unemployment rate is 6.5%, which is lower than the national average. Additionally, the mean travel time or commute is 22 minutes, which shows that most people who live in Susquehanna Township do not work in Susquehanna Township. And as far as religion, 48.5% of people in Susquehanna Township consider themselves to be religious, with Catholics being the largest group in this area. Additionally, in Susquehanna, 35.1% have never been married, or 45.4% are now married. The crime rates for Susquehanna Township, both violent and property crimes, is lower than the national average. And according to niche.com, Susquehanna Township scores an A minus as far as crime when related to one of the best places to live. Susquehanna Township has both formal and informal institutions in that the community tends to be evolved from these particular institutions. Susquehanna Township School District plays a large part in developing the community, along with Parks and Recreation, because they have the availability of all the wildlife of Susquehanna Township for people to participate in. Additionally, we have a Jewish community center, we have a Seventh-day Adventist church, and we have also multiple Christian churches where people develop relationships. According to the Seeking the Good Community article, there are 9 key elements. The first element is safety. There have been multiple natural disasters in the past 30 years, according to York Daily Record, but they have not been significant enough for people to deter from moving to Susquehanna. However, it does happen to cause mass devastation when they did occur. Susquehanna Township, concerning goods and services, being a suburb, has just the basics. As I stated prior, it seems to be in the center of multiple highways. So goods and services are something that typically travel through Susquehanna rather than being in Susquehanna. Like I stated prior, there's so many highways that come through Susquehanna Township that typically the area is residential or it is a base for hotels and rest areas so that people can get lodging and gas. One hub of Susquehanna Township, or our quote unquote claim to fame, is the Farm Show Complex, where people come and gather from all over the country to participate in agricultural um, events. Forbes states that the Farm Show is the largest free indoor agricultural exposition in the US that started since 1917. They include multiple events like gun shows, car shows, outdoor shows. There's just too many to name, but most of them surround agricultural activities. This is a picture of the Farm Show Complex that shows that it is a large venue that is often used. And this is a picture of the farm show during a livestock expo. And the gentleman's in the center is Governor Tom Wolf. The next element is relationships that bind us together, interrelatedness or the lack thereof. In Susquehanna Township, because so many people work outside and go outside of the community, there's not really any connectedness within the community. A lot of residents of Susquehanna Township don't know if people are truckers, tourists, or their neighbors. There is a restaurant that's been around for over 30 years called Mr. and Mrs. Deli, Mr. Deli and Mrs. Two, that's been around, and it used to be a local hub, but as people continue to come and go in the community, it doesn't have the same mom and pop feel that it used to have. As far as commonality of values and goals, the mindset of Susquehanna Township is a superficial American dream. Everyone wants to come here so that they can buy their first home and start their families and maintain the suburban lifestyle. The unfortunate part is that once they become financially stable, they typically end up moving. Another commonality that we also have is that Susquehanna Township tends to be more liberal. As far as the whole person principle, the question is, even though we are neighbors, do you know me? Often the neighbors in Susquehanna Township develop relationships at their workplaces or outside of the community and don't really know each other. Predictability. Susquehanna Township as a system has not changed in over 30 years, and they do not want it to change in over 30 years. Permits have been tried to build property commercially that has been denied and only residentially. Also, as recognized as a place in a social structure, this is kind of true for Susquehanna Township, that it is a lost and lonely place in suburbia if you are not living the American dream. If you don't have a family, or you don't have kids that go to Susquehanna Township schools, then you're kind of lost in this environment of the quote unquote American dream. Opportunities in Susquehanna Township are home ownership and a good education. Unfortunately, with these, once you achieve the house you want and achieve the education you want, you typically move out of Susquehanna Township. Susquehanna and homogeneity. Susquehanna Township is limited in diversity, but it's better than it was. And it's not really trying to be any more diverse than it already is. In conclusion, Susquehanna Township is a location that is either a first step or a last step for people. It's a place where idealism of suburbia is cherished. But upon review, is it a community? It seems not. Other than a cordial good morning, communal socialization is limited. Besides the impact of the school district and the activities of the students, the community might not interact with one another at all. Thank you so much.